Hi, I'm Kimberly.
And I'm Hillary. And we're the Feral Housewives.
Hi, fellow Feral Housewives. Welcome back.
We are here today with our husbands.
Some very special guest speakers.
Yes, it's going to be a fun time. But we are going to start with our Feral Moments of the Week. Go ahead, Kim.
All right, so mine is, we went out on a date, actually, with Hillary and Sean. And we got dinner, and then randomly walked around Walmart for a long time. But then we went home and walked into pure chaos, of course, because we have children. But then I noticed right away that my 4-year-old had a pink nose. And I assumed he got into makeup or marker or something. And then I look at him like, what is on your nose? And he's like, get painted my nose with nail polish.
Oh, no.
And tomorrow is my son Ryan's birthday party. And I was going to have them take some cute pictures. And I don't even know. Anyway, so when I told Kid, she's like, I didn't really think about it, Mom. And I'm like, is his nose a nail? And she was like, well, no. And I was like, then it shouldn't be on his nose.
I asked Mercedes, I was like, whose idea was it to paint Hank's nose with the nail polish? And she's like, Kit.
Yeah, he asked Kit to paint her nose. Or his nose.
Oh, man.
I was like, are you freaking kidding me? And she's like, he asked me to. I'm like, he's 4.
And I was like, where was Ryan when all of this was happening?
Yeah.
Wasn't he babysitting?
No, apparently he was watching Tommy. Tommy was having some issues or something. So, because I asked
But
him.
he didn't smell the nail polish.
Well, then Adam was like, and you were playing video games, right? And he was like, yeah. Anyway, whatever. It's fine. I was like, that could have been poison. He could have died. And Ryan was like, but it wasn't. So,
Oh, man.
oh, yes.
A perfectly valid excuse.
Who is that voice?
Don't buy Ben, it's not your turn yet.
Oh,
See how nice and quiet Adam is?
Okay, so my feral moment of the week. So Mercedes' birthday was last week, and my mom made her a birthday cake, a spice cake, which she had requested.
Which was very delicious, by the way.
It was very good. And it was so good that most of it was gone, but there were like 5 or 6 pieces left in the pan, left on the counter. And I took her to her doctor's appointment the next day after the party. And then came home and I was like, where is all of the cake? Sean had been working from home per the norm. And I was like, where's Edwin? He was playing video games, but he'd also gone over to the neighbors and played for a little bit and came back and whatever. And the entire cake was gone. All of the rest of it. And Sean's like, I didn't eat it. And then Edwin's like, it wasn't me. And I'm like, Edwin, nobody else was here to eat it. And so I'm like, come on, tell the truth. So he finally admitted that he had eaten the cake. And I was like, oh, okay, well, you don't get any more desserts, blah, 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 whatever, right? So we finish the day, go on with our lives. Then Sean and I go to bed. And Sean's in bed already, actually. And I go to the bathroom, I brush teeth, whatever, get ready for bed. And I go and I lay down. And I'm like, what is this? I was like, why is it all crumbly? And I like look down and there's a giant piece of cake under my pillow. And I was like, why is there a piece of cake in my bed?
spice cake fairy.
I was not happy. And I'm like, how did you not freaking notice? You noticed every other crumb in the bed, but you didn't notice the whole freaking piece of cake. I was so confused. Anyways, I picked up this giant piece of cake. Luckily, the frosting was not on it, so it was not sticky. Apparently, he ate all the frosting off of it first. So, picked up the cake, threw it away, brushed all the crumbs off the bed, and went to bed.
I don't think we changed the sheets.
We did not. We changed. It was like midnight or something, or 1.
Yeah, you don't. I mean, it wasn't all over the bed.
No, if there had been frosting, we totally would have had to. But
yeah,
luckily there was no frosting involved, so we changed sheets the next day. But I think honestly don't remember.
I still no. I don't think we have yet.
Oh man, we're just sleeping in spicy sheets.
Spice cake sheets.
Cake sheets.
Hey, if you want to,
Well, there you go.
If you want to have the festive flavors of spice cake all year round. Just have a 6-year-old that sneaks cake in your bed and then don't change your sheets.
Should we introduce our guests?
Sure. Okay. Well, now that you've heard them both, and one keeps interrupting.
I haven't interrupted. I'm just interjecting.
Or interjecting. There you go. So, my husband, Sean.
Hello.
Oh, gosh. And
then my husband, Adam.
That's me.
Can I give my feral housewife moment of the week?
I don't know. I have not approved this message yet.
No.
I don't know what it is.
We cannot, just to say, warning, we cannot take responsibility for anything these two say.
We cannot.
Well,
You married us.
yeah.
Doesn't mean
Yes,
we take
but
responsibility
you're
for the
only-
things that come out of your mouth.
So, I mean, I don't know how feral this is. This is probably the most out of beat thing I do, or I've done this week. I made pancakes and then ate them in a work. I started a work meeting early, and then pointed my camera down at my plate and ate pancakes. As my colleagues joined in and just watched me eat pancakes at 8:30 in the morning.
So you Twitter, YouTubed your
I
pancakes.
live streamed my pancake eating to my coworkers.
How was
What,
that?
how did they do
I don't know.
that?
So here's where this is not fair. First off, you made pancakes.
Right? And second of all, it's
It was
8:30 in the morning.
Way too early.
Hey, look, I'm working on my feral housewife skills here, all right? My life is pretty consistent, so I don't have many. And a lot of these offbeat moments, I think, also happen. It's a conjoined thing, right? Like the cake in the bed moment. Yeah, I was on your side of the bed, but that happened with.
It
both of us
wasn't
there.
even. It was in the middle of the bed.
Was it the middle of the bed?
Yes!
I thought it was under your pillow.
In the middle of the bed.
But it was your
the-
pillow.
Yeah, the middle pillow.
The middle pillow.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to snuggle, and then I was like, what is all this crumb?
It got spicy.
Not really after that. Yeah. Do you have a non-feral moment, apparently, of the week, Adam?
Yeah. What was it? Wednesday night?
I don't know what you're going to tell.
Well, no. Wednesday. Well, yeah.
I don't know the
night,
day.
every single one of the children woke up except for Ryan,
Oh my gosh.
and we dealt
It was
with that.
2 a.m. and all 3 of our children were awake, except for our 16-year-old.
Naturally awake or just.
Well, Kit woke up.
What?
Yeah. Well, Kit woke up 3 times or 4 times.
She's having sleep anxiety.
Yeah. And then the boys woke up because she woke up. And then eventually I got the boys. I just had to deal with the boys and put them back in bed, and ended up having to lay on the floor so that they would stay in their beds.
And Kit was in bed with me.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I fell asleep on the floor until about 5 o'clock.
Oh, man.
And
So
so
when
then
you got
I
up for
got-
work.
Yeah, so then I got to sleep maybe about an hour and then get up for work. It's not enjoyable.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it was definitely not enjoyable.
That's a
That
way
thing.
better feral housewife moment.
You got better sleep on those few hours though than
That's
I did.
true. I probably did.
Yeah.
Although Adam can sleep anywhere. Just saying.
That is true. I can sleep pretty much anywhere in just about any position.
But then every other night that week, I had children coming in and out of our room, and
Yeah, this past week
it's
they've been waking up anywhere from usually around 12:30 to 2:30, somewhere around there.
Wonder if it's a full moon week.
Right?
Must be.
Are your
Our
full
children
moons
are
there?
werewolves. That explains so much about our lives,
Werewolves.
That explains why they act the way they act.
right? Okay. Suddenly, I feel so much better about their behavior.
So which one is the werewolf?
Oh, not me. You, for sure.
But you're the feral one.
Yeah, but I'm always unpredictable, not just on a full moon.
Maybe you're just extra unpredictable.
No.
And
I'm not wild. Okay, I guess that's what.
that's about feral is.
Yeah.
That's what feral. I'm not a werewolf.
Says the werewolf.
Human being, Adam.
Hence the werewolf.
Okay, so we're going to move on to our next segment, which is We Communicated.
And they missed it.
So we're
Should
going
we give them the feral wife test?
We can.
Well,
But we live
fail.
with them, so half
What?
of them are already half of ours, right? Like
Yeah.
the dishes in the sink and the laundry couches.
Yeah.
Except Sean does the laundry.
Yeah.
I'm really good at making massive laundry couches.
Me too. Yeah, I
It's
generate
true.
laundry
Really?
couch.
Adam is
Yeah.
a champion laundry,
Yeah.
like, pusher.
Yeah, so I can clean laundry and get it all dried and make a humongous pile.
Yes.
Trying to get around to folding it, that's
No.
a different story.
The key is to make sure that the couch, the space where the clothes go, is clear before you start the pile. Because
Yes.
then you can get the pile to be really high. You got a stable foundation for it.
Yes.
If you got like a pillow at an awkward angle, then it makes it difficult to
Mhm.
stack it high up.
What's really fun though is when you have kids, all your kids, right, young ones, and then they like to climb on it, and
Yep.
they're like, "Oh, this is nice and cozy," and they snuggle right down into it,
Yep.
and they eat their snacks, and then all that food gets all over. And of course, it's a granola bar or something like that. Something's
Yeah.
got to be sticky,
Yeah.
you know. It can't be dry and crummy.
Yeah, you've still got the little kids that do that stuff. Like,
Yeah.
Like,
We're out of that phase. Now we got the cats that go and sit and sleep on top of it.
Oh no!
Was it your feral?
Do any of them burrow in?
no.
Gandalf,
So-
Gandalf will sit on the top.
Oh,
And
just on
Claudia
top.
will go and she will make a little bit.
But was it
Okay.
your feral of the week story about a child who stuck a cake under your pillow?
But that's not in the laundry
That was a
couch.
laundry couch.
That's
That's
in our
not
bed.
going. Yeah,
That was
There's a-
just
There's a difference.
because
laying in my bed to watch
He
YouTube.
got soy sauce on your couch, though.
Did, and
he was
got
eating
grounded.
he was eating
Yes.
buttered rice.
But I guess it wasn't in, like,
Laundry.
a laundry.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not that.
They don't burrow into laundry couches anymore.
Hank he
loves
loves
the
himself
laundry pile.
a
I
laundry
know.
couch. He loves himself a laundry couch.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
And then he eats all his snacks, and of course, it's bound to be like granola or something chocolatey. So then it's like half the stuff you gotta go rewash.
So I guess we don't really need to give them the test.
Yeah.
Well, what's the test?
Apparently, that was the test.
Well,
This is-
Are you feral or are you not?
Do you have a laundry couch?
Yeah.
Well,
Do you have a
yes.
laundry couch?
But we generate it.
Yes.
They do generate. They make the laundry. So you do the laundry. I don't wash clothes.
No, you don't.
You wash them.
No.
Is that-
And then I fold them.
what else?
I can push
was
it
on
too.
our
Yeah.
test?
The dishes full in the sink.
I'm good at that.
Yeah, Adam does not like washing dishes.
I will fill the sink up.
But I do like to
Point.
put the dishes in the sink. I don't like
We're
leaving
pretty
them
good
there.
at like we both kind of do the dishes when it gets full. We
Yeah.
both, but we're both really good at
But I-
filling the sink up.
Adam will do the dishes.
Very rarely.
One of the reasons he doesn't do them is because it takes him.
Forever. I'm very
Forever.
meticulous.
Don't you have a dishwasher?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I just rinse them off and throw them in.
Yeah, I know it's.
Well, you gotta make sure like it's rinsed off well enough, or else
Yeah.
it's not
no,
gonna.
Sean doesn't.
No,
do
I
that.
just
It
I
bugs me.
run some water under it, and then I go with the brush. And then,
How was that?
And then, and it's not even like to get all the food, unless it's like something I know is going to bake on in the dishwasher, like
Mhm.
cheese. Like cheese is a bad one, egg yolk, like that kind of stuff. I'll get that off. But if it's like just some kind of like
hate
red
that.
sauce or
Yeah, something
like
that'll
ketchup and
rinse off.
mustard,
Yeah,
You know,
that stuff
if it-
rinses off.
if there's like a huge blob of it, I get that off. But if there's like just, general, cleared my plate, but there's residue left, just throw that in the dishwasher.
No.
Yeah.
Because your dishwasher has a pre-rinse cycle where it like goes through to soak your dishes and
Hey,
gets all that stuff off.
you're already too like domesticating me. Like you're like bored at this point.
Hold on, are you saying that you're
Our
irresponsible?
listeners are like, where are the
Hold
feral
on,
people?
Hold on. Are you saying that being feral means that you clean your dishes before you put them in the machine that
No.
cleans your
No.
dishes?
It means you don't do them.
No,
Yeah.
yeah,
The
So it means
dishes,
that you're
period.
irresponsible.
sometimes, or you just go do whatever the crap you
well,
want. No, I don't know. I'm bored. Change the subject.
You lost me.
You're
You
domesticated.
lost me.
We've categorized you. Domesticated.
Hold on, how am I domestic?
Ryan typically.
Because you get up at 8 in the morning and make pancakes and then videotape yourself eating them.
And talk.
That's awesome.
And then talk
You're
about
very detailed
dishes.
about how you do the dishes.
I'm not that detailed. I just
You named the
You just-
foods that you.
Yeah.
It's true. Ryan's the one that primarily does dishes in our house.
Yeah.
But I swear, that kid, what is he? Is he more feral than us? Because he doesn't
No,
rinse
I mean,
anything off.
he's
He
just-
doesn't rinse it off at all.
He's just a
He's
teenager.
It's like, hey, you gotta
teen.
rinse that off, otherwise it's gonna bake on, or there's so much food
I mean-
that ends up in the dishwasher that it gets everything else dirty.
I would think that's feral by default. Being a
All right.
teenager,
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
because
true.
you just don't
Yeah.
know. You're driven by instinct, like dishwasher instinct.
But I've been trying to show him lately, like, listen, just rinse them off. What? Anyway, we'll see what happens. I've been doing the dishes lately because it's starting to bother me a little bit.
But of course, I finally got around to fixing the sink.
So now our sink is fixed. Let's see what else was on there.
Schedule. Do you go by schedule? Are you scheduled?
Clearly, Sean doesn't.
I have to.
He does.
I work.
Yeah, me too.
If I
had to go.
if I don't follow a schedule, I don't make money.
I know. But I mean, after that.
After that.
After that, I like to play video games, and then I get chided for playing video games. Why don't you come out and spend time with your family?
Is that my voice?
That is your voice.
Is that my voice?
Oddly enough, Adam heard the same thing.
I did,
Yes.
but I was sleeping, I think.
You were not sleeping. You were looking on Temu.
Were you playing that
Was I
farm
looking at
game
Timo?
again?
Was I looking at Timo, or was I asleep looking like I was looking
You were
at
playing
Timo?
the stupid farm game. I know because I got a text message from you that said, please.
Oh, I got a text message too.
Yeah, you did.
I did too. I got one too.
I'm like, did you hack? Do I need to try this?
Did
no.
messages you get from
It's
me,
just one of
Adam,
those
or
stupid
Ryan
things.
about Temu?
It's just one of those stupid things where it's just like, oh, do this or that. I'm like, all right, whatever. I'm only going to do that to, like, friends or whatever. I'm
So
not
you're one
gonna
of the
do that to
lucky few,
anyone
Sean.
else. I only did it once since then.
You only did it once to them. Every day, like the other day, he's at work, and I'm like, Adam texted me, and I'm like, will you please accept my invitation? I was like, oh my gosh.
But then,
I was like, are you supposed to be working right now?
You gotta understand, though, at this point, I'm just doing it because of the reaction that I get from her.
but now
It's
you know
pretty
when
funny.
he's
I think
playing
it's pretty
the game.
funny. Well, yeah, I was at, like, lunch. I was having a lunch.
Oh yeah, that's totally acceptable.
Yeah, it's not you being late. Still.
We got like super sidetracked.
Yep.
This is what happens.
You're
with
welcome.
the podcast.
Adam, do you think you're a scheduled person?
I have to be. Well, during the week,
No, I'm not talking about when you're at work. Like,
trying to get the kids in bed so we can spend a little bit of time together.
I mean,
That's every night.
I don't think Adam's super scheduled.
No.
Adam, I'm more scheduled.
I used to be anally scheduled and, like, very extremely meticulous, and then one
You got
day I
me.
just got tired of it. I guess.
He's
I don't
never
know.
been scheduled since I've known him.
Not since you've known me, no. No, it happened when I was a teenager.
I don't think
I was super OCD about, like, everything up until I was about 14 or 15.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think Sean's super scheduled either.
What was the other questions? I totally forgot.
I don't have my list here.
But now, like, when it comes to the weekend, I just kind of go with the flow. And then say, man,
cook?
it's over. It sucks.
You have dinner on the table at a certain time. Which one?
Okay.
Because that's
Yeah.
We're the family.
Dinner around the table around the time the kids are supposed to be in bed.
Yeah, no.
right. I know we never have it on time.
It's definitely feral, I think.
Yes, I think Sean is too, for the most part.
Am I?
I don't know. I feel like you're like borderline. You're like on the fence, feral.
So I'm like-
You're like an indoor outdoor feral.
So
You're like
Like
an
an
indoor
cat.
outdoor.
You're like an indoor outdoor cat.
So what you're saying is that I'm a zoo bear.
A zoo bear?
Is it?
He doesn't want to be referred to as cat.
I'm
Yeah.
still wild, but I'm contained in an enclosure.
I don't know. I think you're more like Gandalf. Their cat.
Oh, more like
Gandalf's
Gandalf.
great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where I can go in or out, and I just do whatever. Yeah. Well, so like the dinner.
But then when you were like gone for a week, you get grounded and you're stuck inside.
Yeah. Well, it's only because I was stuck in John's garage.
Which should
I
really
do not
be
want-
explained.
I really don't want to know that story.
Gandalf got locked out in his.
I
Okay.
know, I was joking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, for our listeners, our cat got out. Well, he's an indoor-outdoor cat. And he got into our neighbor's garage and was trapped in there for a week, and we thought he got eaten by wolves.
Coyotes.
But then our neighbor,
Wolves?
whatever,
Wolf in his
a
garage.
werewolf.
Yeah, he's gone.
It was a werewolf.
We have a werewolf problem or a wolf problem where we live.
No, they're coyotes.
Coyotes.
Coyotes,
Yeah.
whatever. You know what I meant.
I knew. I mean, I
And the
didn't know that
occasional
you meant
mountain lion.
coyotes. I thought you
Yeah.
thought they were actually
Yeah.
Could have been
Yeah.
coons too.
or a
Or raccoon, yeah.
or
but
a
then,
car.
but then he
Mean.
came home from his business trip and opened the garage, and then Gandalf came out.
Yeah.
So
Gandalf.
Look,
Sitting here
Gandalf
just
was very
it was
traumatized.
not funny.
I know he's like,
Gandalf is
stop
ma-
talking about me.
Gandalf is meant to go on adventures and to
He doesn't
just
go out as
disappear
much
for chunks of time and
He's
then
like, yeah, because I got.
show
I know,
back
he
up
was
with
traumatized.
dwarves and all that.
He was traumatized.
All right, so should
Okay.
we move on to our? We communicated
And they missed it.
What?
I don't know what you're talking about.
exactly.
Wait, do you want
Uh-huh.
to go first? Or do you want me to?
Yeah, so for our first episode with our loving husbands on, we're going to talk about some of our biggest miscommunications, or just instances, I guess, where we had trouble communicating,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So when Adam and I first got married, first off, Adam had been divorced and he had a 6-year-old son, Ryan, my bonus son. And so originally we both took 2 weeks off work so that we could. The first week we went up to Maine, and then the second week we were just going to do a bunch of day trips. But on the way home, our car broke down in his ex-wife's driveway. And my parents had to come pick us up. Nope, I lied. They didn't come pick us up. They gave us a ride to my parents' house. It was a really big, it was a great moment for our adult life. So we'd only been married a week, which meant that instead of going on our fun day trips, we went to look for a car, which to me should have taken a day or two. Because
His face.
that's how I am. I knew everything that we needed and wanted. Do you remember what was on the list, Adam? I still remember.
4 doors and it runs.
And it needed to get good gas mileage because he commuted. It needed to have less than 100,000 miles on it. It needed to be a good car that would last a while. And it needed to... I think those were the only 3 things, actually. It needed to be somewhat newer so that we could keep it for a long time. Anyway, so
And
we
4
looked...
doors.
And not very expensive. And we looked... And everywhere we went, we heard, oh, you should lease, or oh, you should do this, or oh, you should do this. We went to one dealership, and we asked to see cars. We gave him our list, and the guy's like, I know what you want. For yourself. It was $5,000 over our budget. This is what you really want. No, this is not what we want. Anyway, so finally, we went to a car dealership, and we found a black Corolla that had everything on our list, and it was in manual, because Adam wanted a manual. And we test drove it, and I was like, this is it. This is the car. This is the car that we're supposed to get. And Adam was like, well, we'll think about it, and we'll come back later. And I was livid, because I'd been looking at him like, I think this is the car that we should get. We've found it, because I knew that we found it. And Adam was just like, we'll come back, we'll look around some more and come back. And I was done looking. This was day 4, right?
Oh my god.
We'd been to 3 other
3,
dealerships.
I think. I
Yeah.
think it's just day 3 because I think we got it on day 4 or something.
So anyway, so we left, and on the way home, we had words. And then we went to my parents' house afterwards.
She
Yeah,
had more
why?
words than I did.
Yeah. I think that's when Adam realized how many words I could have.
Oh no. I already knew you were a talker.
Oh, yeah. Did you know that?
Yes.
I'm very good at expressing myself. especially when I'm upset. And Adam is...
I'm very good at expressing myself, but guys, no. Guys are more of, yeah.
How is that good at expressing
That's
yourself?
not good at expressing yourself.
That's good at expressing yourself to another male, not to women, no.
I understand
It's
what you're
horrible.
saying.
Yeah.
You're just so full of crap.
So I literally, when I can like tell you exactly why I'm upset, exactly, like I just can tell you my exact feelings, and Adam is just kind of like, and he just kind of like sat there and looked at me like he was like a deer in frozen headlights. And so then we went to our house.
I don't want to make you any more mad. It's like any comment I could have made at that moment would have made the situation worse.
Yeah, especially then he was like, let me call and talk to my dad. And I'm like, why are you talking to your dad when you're not talking to me? Because he's a man. And Adam was like, what does that mean? And I'm like, what do you think it means? So then we went to my parents' house for something, and my dad's like, how's car shopping going? And I looked at my dad. I think we're gonna get divorced. We obviously don't. We can't communicate. We're like so off sync on this. La da 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 da. And my dad's like, you know what? There is nothing more stressful than buying a car except buying a house.
It's true.
And he was like, and so it's totally okay that you guys are having this. He's like, because it's very, very normal. He was like, the important thing is that you guys talk, and one of you is not like, we are not buying this car. And the other one's like, yes, we are. And you have no say in the matter. He's like, because what if something happens to that car? Then the other person's always going to be like, well, I told you not to buy the car. And so then I felt better. And he was like, me and your mom have the same problem. He's like, I take a long time to think about things. He's like, your mom is like, this is what we're looking for. And I'm like, that's exactly what happened. Anyway, so I can't remember what happened, but we went back and we bought the car. We had it for a while. Actually, just a year or two ago.
Couple of years.
We traded it in for our van. But it was a huge learning lesson for me.
Did you learn anything, Adam?
Well, I had already known. Well, I had already known this because we dated a long time. Because I dragged my feet. She was, for shopping wise, she could just go and shop and get what she wanted and go and be done. I am much more of a window shopper, and that may have been because I would look at something and be like, "Oh, I want that," and be like, "Well, I don't have money for that, so." Maybe I can find a better deal somewhere else.
No, I mean, that's just his personality.
But my personality is able to window shop, be patient, window shop, and, eventually you'll figure
Well, here's the thing. Adam is very like, this is what I want. I don't have money for that, but I'm going to look until I either find it for the price that I need it or wait until... we needed a car. We only had one car. Like, that was not an option. And...
I just have to process it. It's like I process slower. Certain decisions I'll process slower.
So whenever we've bought a car since then, we always start looking.
Yeah.
Like I've just
How many cars have you bought since then?
We've bought two.
Two?
Oh, yeah.
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 A van and...
A van before that.
Yeah. We had to sell it. So, yeah.
It was for a good reason, though. We bought a house.
We bought a house, and we were trying to get our debt to income ratio down, so we sold it.
Yep.
And then we just had our Corolla for a while again, which was hard. But
because you absolutely hate driving a manual.
I do not like driving a manual. That is true, especially when I have screaming babies.
Oh, it's hard with kids.
Yeah.
It's a lot hard.
But so that was just a big thing. Like I really learned a lot about like the miscommunication and stuff, and I just learned that sometimes I would say things and I would mean it like, this is what I think, and he would, I don't know, assume it was...
Well, the way you mean it and the way it comes off because of the words you use it can be different.
And
feel different.
Disagree with them.
Well, you can disagree with that all you like. And that's fun.
And this is when I communicated, even this weekend.
Hang on.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Hang on.
We're not really fighting. I'm not angry. Yet.
This is
I
just
think
how you
they'd be
talk
able
when
to
you're
tell.
married.
Yeah.
This is just... you just talk annoyed with the other person for the rest of your life.
Thanks for the distraction. Now I don't remember.
I remember when I was going to say. So, would you like me to go on?
No.
Okay. I was just going to tell the story about this weekend.
Hey, I admitted that we had the conversation. And I admitted I forgot what it was exactly, but I knew we had plans. I just couldn't remember what it was.
I told Adam we were going to go out to dinner, and then we were going to record our podcast. And then this afternoon, I was like, don't forget about dinner tonight. He's like, dinner? And I was like, we're going out to dinner? Oh,
Like,
yeah.
the Greek food or whatever.
And then what are we doing? And I was like, we're reporting a podcast
That's right.
on miscommunication.
No, there's a difference between miscommunication and just forgetting.
That's true.
Yeah.
I forgot. I remembered we had a conversation. I remember we had plans. I just forgot what it was, and I asked you what it was because
It's
I knew.
true.
So that one wasn't really a miscommunication.
Yeah.
Eric.
But the miscommunication came because one time I was talking to my mom and we'd had a family plan. We were supposed to spend time with them. And I told my mom, I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, I told her, it's like, we have to redo the plan. She's like, why? I was like, well, I communicated to Adam what was going on and he missed it. And my mom was like, that's so funny. And I've always used it since then. So,
Yep. So my thing that I communicated very, very clearly, I would like to add, was
she's certain that she
I'm
did.
very certain. So Mercedes and I were going. No, okay, it was a few months ago, and they have all heard this story, so they all know this story. And
Oh.
Mercedes
I still
had.
don't remember this.
Oh, you'll remember.
I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but
Soccer.
yes, Sean had soccer practice.
Got this story.
Or Mercedes had soccer practice.
I don't know where she
And-
said this.
I
I know
had
what she said.
Mercedes had soccer practice, and I don't remember. You can maybe fill in because you remember so much more of my life than I do.
No, that's weird.
Oh, was this?
Nope.
Wait.
I'm
She
telling.
had soccer practice. She had cheer practice first.
Cheer practice. That's what it was. Okay. She had cheer practice first. So I took her to cheer, and there's like a 10-minute difference, and we have one. Did we have one car at that time? We had two.
I think
We had two.
No, I had one
No, we had
car.
one car.
Because
Because he
the
was
car
borrowing
was
John's. Yeah, he was
Yeah.
borrowing John's car. So we had one car at a time. I took her to cheer practice. We had 10 minutes in between. Sean was the coach. And I said, hey, I'm leaving to take Mercedes to cheer practice. I will meet you at practice for soccer at the field. Edwin is next door at John's house. Don't forget to take him with you to practice. Okay? I love you. Bye. And I kissed him and I left. Also, when I kissed him, I said, did you hear me? Edwin's next door. Don't forget to bring him. And he's like, okay. Love you. And then I left.
Can I interject with what I remember hearing?
I was going to say something just before you do that.
I remember what
The
you told
problem
me.
is-
Are you going to defend him? Because that's it.
No.
This is one of my favorite
The
stories.
problem is, you gave him a kiss, so then he just forgot.
No.
I was
Well,
joking.
that was-
Hillary's like, he's
That
not going to
don't
get
know.
out of that
That was
lightly.
a little bit of it.
Uh-huh.
He's like,
Uh-huh.
she's just so beautiful. I was.
This was
Don't make me
this was
vomit.
near this was near the end of my workday,
Uh-huh.
and near the end of my workday, and like the last like hour and a half or so is usually when I'm really trying to focus. Excuse me, and get stuff done so I can not leave things unfinished for the next day.
You can't see my eye rolls enough here.
I don't like to be disturbed during that time. I like to focus, and it happens. Just things come in and interrupt you. And
You should let her tell the rest of the story.
No. I have to preface that, or preface. So, what I heard,
You're not
I looked
gonna
so
get
horrible.
sympathy.
Listen, I was very focused in what I was doing, and what I heard was Edwin is with John, and it did not register in my
You
brain.
have to let her tell the rest of the story.
All right, go.
Okay.
All right, go finish.
So then I go to cheer and I take Mercedes and then I leave and I take her to practice.
And you had called me too.
And I called Kim. I don't know why I called you. Probably because I always do.
because you were telling me something. And then I got to practice.
So Kim was there at practice and your sister was in town with you.
Yeah.
And you guys were there. And I get to practice.
Well, and I had asked Sean where Edwin was.
And I get there, and my brother is there.
Whose name is John?
My brother's name is John, with an H. And I said, where's Edwin? And she's like, I thought you had him. And I was like, are you freaking kidding me right now? Where is Sean? And Sean, of course, was coaching. And I was like, I think I went over to him and I was like, where's Edwin? And he's like, I thought he was with you. I was like, are you freaking kidding me?
He was with John.
I thought he was
Or he's like, oh, I thought he was with John. And I was like, John is with you. I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, I thought he was with your brother. I was like, you freaking drove here with my brother. Where is Edwin? And he's like, and I was like, he was next door at John's house.
I just interject here that he said, I remembered the dog.
Yeah,
Because he brought
that
Suki.
was that.
Oh. No, I remember now. I was at cheer and I got a text from John, the neighbor, without an H.
Oh, that's right.
And he said,
called me.
he's like,
That's
hey,
what he called me.
That's why I called you. He texts me and he says, hey, Edwin just came back to my house crying because he knocked at the door and said, nobody's home. My parents left me. And then went back to his house crying. And I said, are you kidding me? I was like, I am so sorry. I was like, I'm at cheer practice with Mercedes. Sean was supposed to get him and take him to practice with him. And he's like, okay, no biggie. Like, he can chill here for a minute. And I was like, okay, I'll come pick him up. So I went and picked him up, obviously. On my way, that was what I picked him up on my way to practice. And then I took him to practice. And I was like, hey, Sean, where's Edwin? And he's like, yeah, that's what you were like.
He literally
That was what it was.
He's like, in my defense, I thought he was with John, your brother. And I will never forget the look in Hillary's eyes. She was like, John was in the car with you. But Edwin was not. And he's I had the dog.
I was half in yes mode and half in like real focused mode, and I heard Edwin.
It still like literally makes no sense.
No, it doesn't. Yeah, no. Look,
Like even if you say you still makes no sense. You're like, he was with John. Okay, but he still was in the car with you.
Yeah, no,
it still makes no sense.
Yeah. No,
Maybe he thought that John invented a shrinking machine and shrunk Edwin down teeny tiny.
Listen, every kid needs a moment where their parent forgets them.
No, they don't.
Mine forgot me at church.
Yeah. My mom forgot me at school for like 3 hours. I was stuck outside and I had to...
How old were you?
Middle school.
Okay, Edwin's 6.
He wasn't even 6 then, though.
No, he was 5.
He was... no, that was this year.
Yeah.
He was 6.
Oh yeah, okay, he was 6.
But
he was 6. He
but,
was
okay.
fresh 6.
Hey, I'm not saying what I did was a good thing.
Oh, but the real kicker is like a month later. You took him to activity days.
Actually, that was the night before.
No.
Oh, that was the night before?
Because Sarah and I were making fun of him because...
I'm going to defend myself on this one.
Because he had lost... Okay, so the night before, we were at a church activity, and Sarah and I were... My sister was visiting us, and she was like, there's a kid crying on top of a car over there. And I'm like, I look over, and Edwin's sitting on the top of their car. And I'm like, Edwin, are you okay? He's like, I lost my dad.
So here's what happened.
So, hold on. And then Sean comes out of the building. He's like, Edwin, why are you on top of the car? You know you're not supposed to be on top of the car. What are you thinking? And he's just like, Dad. And so, yeah, so we were teasing Sean about that. And then we were like, where's Edwin? This was before Hillary had called at soccer practice to tell us Edwin was lost-ish. And we're like, me and my sister were teasing Sean. We're like, oh, maybe Edwin got left at home. And then he was left at
home. And I'm like, okay. So now I always give Sean crap. And I'm like, is Edwin with you? Like, seriously, check your kid.
I might be really absent-minded sometimes. But the church activity one, he was with me. And what had happened was, we were cleaning up or something. And there were a whole bunch of kids that were, like, in a group, like, leaving. They just started walking out. And he didn't, like, come stand near me or anything. He just followed the crowd. And the crowd ended up outside, and they all dispersed out to their cars. And then it's just him out there.
Where were you?
I was inside cleaning up the activity.
Where was your child?
He followed the crowd.
So you obviously did not pay attention to him and tell him, say, hey, stay here with me. Don't go out with the kids.
I didn't know that he was going...
Bert, you got to tell the kid. He's 6.
And he might be a little absent-minded himself.
Listen.
Just saying.
Listen from Dad.
Listen, he gets it. Yeah, he gets it from me. And also, this is a learning moment for me, right? Of like, okay, Edwin and I obviously now have a rapport of...
Losing track of each other. Even though you're like 6'4".
Well, the funny thing, too, is that he got on top of the car because he knew you were so tall, so he's trying to find you.
He got on the car.
I always wondered why he was on the car.
Yeah, because you couldn't see him, so he got up there.
Yeah.
I didn't know you guys as well then, so I was just kind of like, I didn't want to scare him, but he was just like,
It was...
I lost my dad.
It was a very smart thing for him to do, I think.
I did. I gave him props for it because I was like,
He
I
found
mean,
your car and got on top of it.
Yeah.
Except you chewed him out when he got
Yeah.
on top of it.
Well, because he was on the car, you could damage it, but...
and he should have been like, well, you left me. You didn't tell me where you were.
I lost you, Dad.
He's dead. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I know Sean's dense. That's why he got lost the kid twice in 2 days.
Edwin is as well, though, like, physically so, like, boned. So that's why he's yelling at him, don't dent the car.
Yeah.
But Edwin thought he was lost.
Yes.
This is the difference between, like, I don't want to say, like, moms and dads, but I feel like there's always one parent who's, like, more sympathetic and one who's like, why would you do that? And it's funny because my mom and dad had, like, there were different times where they were that way. Like, when we were sick, my mom was horrible. I love my mom. And she knows she was bad, but she, like, was like,
Why are you looking at me?
Why are you whining?
Why are you looking at my hair?
And my dad was always like, oh, do you need a blanket? Do you want me to wrap up your feet? Do you want soup? And he was always very sweet. But with other things, my mom was like, I'm so sorry that your feelings are hurt. And my dad was like, buck up. Get over it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
So,
how
yeah.
I am.
So it's just interesting how, like, in different moments, parents are, like, sympathetic towards different things.
Yeah.
That's true.
I don't think I'm gruff about it, but I'm more like, can you move?
But you
All
pull
right,
out a
fine.
pocket chainsaw anytime a child has an injury.
Yeah.
But that... yeah, but that's... Okay.
Not a real punk.
Not a real one,
No,
it's his arm,
no.
but
Yeah.
No, it's a gimmick to get them to, like, calm down, because when they get hurt, they kind of freak out because there's initial pain. but-
unless it's not your child, and then you freak them out.
My dad used to say every
Have to
time we
have
got
feelings.
hurt, he'd be like, oh, too bad it wasn't your toe where we could call a tow truck. Or he'd say, oh, well, let me get a hammer and I'll hit your toe so we can call a tow truck. And I was like, Dad.
I'm just...
Not funny. Oh, that makes me think. This morning, actually, driving to my first call, saw a sign at, like, a auto body shop. And it said, when does a joke become a dad joke? When it becomes apparent.
Yes. I've seen that billboard. I love it.
Adam loves his dad jokes.
Oh, yeah.
So does Sean.
I
They're pretty sad.
So did my dad. My dad loves dad jokes.
I try to be pretty calm about deliveries of things like that, of like, or like when the kids get hurt. I don't freak out about it.
I will say that
Yeah.
you told kids, I mean, many things, but one, if she licked lead paint, she would die. And you were like, and then she's like, one day she's like, Mom, do we have lead paint in our house? I'm like, I don't know. She's like, because if you lick it, you can die. And there was a queen in England who used to put lead on her face to make herself look beautiful, but she died.
Yeah.
And I was like, you mean Queen Elizabeth? She's like,
A lot of people
I know.
back then put
and
lead on their
I was
face.
like, yeah, that was Queen Elizabeth the First. And she was like,
Who reigned
Sean
for
told me
14
about it.
So,
Then
yeah,
a week later, he taught her about the meeting.
And then
Yeah.
the Black Plague.
yeah.
Yeah, you're just all full of
Well,
And then insomnia can cause hallucinations. And now she has sleep anxiety.
Well, no, because that was a few months ago, and then there's only one time she woke up, or she didn't even fall asleep yet.
She was like, I'm
wasn't
an
even-
insomniac.
she didn't even fall asleep yet. She was like,
No, she woke up
She's like, I'm worried I have insomnia.
And then she was like, she's like, I heard a noise, and Adam was like, you didn't hear anything, you're hearing things. And she was like, I'm hallucinating. And I'm like, what? Sean said that if you don't go to sleep, you start to hallucinate, and then you can die.
I have a hard time dumbing things down for kids.
True. It's very true.
So when a kid who's say like 8 years old asks me a question about something, I will answer them as if I am talking to an adult. Now, obviously, I'll filter out like,
Is it only when they ask?
or sometimes like the conversation will naturally progress into that.
Stupid
Sometimes-
I'm
information.
just
That's
wondering how the
Okay,
child asked the question about the guillotine.
My favorite thing was like when
Because
he was teaching one of the church classes for the young kids, and we were subbing. Do you remember? Do you remember this?
I remember subbing.
We
I
were
don't
subbing,
I don't remember what I said.
and I
He's
think
like, I
it
only
was.
remember subbing
I
one
think-
thing.
I say a lot of
I think
things.
it was the 7-year-olds,
Oh my gosh.
and he was trying to teach the lesson, and I was in there with him, and I was falling asleep. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is
Oh,
the most
yeah.
boring freaking thing
Oh,
ever. And
yeah.
it was like about all I remember is he like drew a boat and like some people on it or something. And I was like, dude. And so then I just went in and I was like, it was about these two guys that were on a boat and they were trying to get across the water. And I like just said
Yeah.
it in kid form, right?
Yeah,
But he was like all kind of history and like throwing in some like really
yeah.
long names and like super kind of scientific stuff. And the kids
Yeah.
were like, like they
Blank
looked
stare.
blank stares, like they had no idea what was going on.
Yeah, so sometimes that results in like glazed over eyes. Other times that results in kids learning about things that they would definitely learn about later in school, but maybe aren't like so ready to learn about now.
I feel like we don't dumb things down a lot for our kids. Do you, Adam? Well, I also like history a lot too.
Yeah.
It
But
depends on the subject.
yeah,
We there are a few subjects that I feel like we kind of just avoid
yeah.
for now.
But
Where it's just like, don't worry about it.
yeah.
Don't worry about it.
But I don't know. It's just fun. And I don't mind either. It's just funny because I can always tell when Sean taught Kit something or told some story because she has this crazy. Did you know there was this disease that wiped out almost everyone on Earth and it gave you bumps in your armpits? I'm
Yeah.
like, the Black Plague? You know about this, Mom? I'm like, yes, I was a
Yeah.
history major.
Yeah. I love teaching kids about like all the random tidbits of knowledge that life has to offer, as long as it's age appropriate. Right?
It's funny. We'll be in the car and Sean will be like, who wants to learn about this?
Because I get real excited about
I know.
different random facts.
And then is it Edwin and I who are always like, no, and Mercedes is like, I do.
Yeah.
It's like, I do, Papa.
Yeah.
Or it'll be vice versa. But one of them is always like, no, and the other one's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and Kit loves to learn stuff too, so.
Well, so I also really love context about things. So, like, Mercedes and I, one of the things we like doing before she goes to bed is watching YouTube shorts. And so I'll be scrolling through and I'll, scroll past the ones that are inappropriate for her. But sometimes ones will come up, like, there was one tonight where there was somebody who was talking about a current bug with Intel processors, and she doesn't know what a processor
No, your
is.
shorts are so boring.
So I paused the short,
gosh.
and I explained to her what processors were.
And then she fell asleep.
And no, well, I did it really simple. I was like, in the computer, in all the phones and like every piece of electronics, there's a processor, and that's how they think, right? And so and that time I tried to like dumb it down for her so she could understand it. I've been getting better at it.
Took 12 years.
It only took, yeah. Well,
Your children aren't 12.
No,
No.
we've been married 12 years.
yeah. I have always. I have,
Oh, okay, I'm not gonna make a comment there. I will not make that comment.
What? I was going to make me here too.
I don't know what you were all saying.
I think you do.
I was good. Never mind. You said, I said you've only had kids for 12 years.
You
Or,
haven't,
you haven't had kids for 12 years, and you said, but we've been married for 12 years. It's still.
I'm going to be honest, I don't get it either.
So she said it only took you 12 years to dumb down what you're talking about.
Yes.
So she didn't understand you for the first, like,
Before you had
12 years
kids,
of your
she
marriage.
didn't understand you either.
No, I'm saying
That's what you made it sound like.
I know that's not what you were saying.
Okay. I'm like, I don't get it.
No,
You have to dumb it down for me now because I don't know what to say.
Maria's a very smart person. We were just teasing.
That plane flew so far from my head. The Lord of the Rings.
You know, I don't know the same link because we're married and we both are
We're all the same link. We're like, I don't get it.
I think it's because we're sarcastic to each other all the freaking
Yeah,
time.
but they're sarcastic.
We do, yeah.
Yeah.
But we're sarcastic and
These were different wavelengths of sarcasm.
Sarcasm.
We're not aligned.
so
We're
what you're
not.
saying, ours are smarter, more clever
No, I'm
sarcasm.
saying yours were.
I think it's just different
Mean.
frequencies. Different
No.
sarcasm.
No, because my brainwave was on the different path of like thinking like, no, he's been around other kids for before the 12 year or before the 9 years.
Yes.
So that's where my brainwave was. It wasn't like that.
She has seen me interact with other children
Yes.
as we have been married, and she has watched as the curve of my ability to
So that's where my
communicate information
brainwave
to those
was going.
kids
Not
Which is funny
has
because
improved.
I think you're so, like, both of you, like, our kids just adore you. So it's funny because I think you're, like, both really good with kids. But, like, I mean, Hank, like, absolutely loves Sean.
I don't know what I did to do that. I just make really.
Well, Tommy loved being on his shoulders.
Yeah, and Tom, like, I had to...
remember when Tommy
He's, like,
was terrified of him?
Yes.
Tommy was so scared of him in the beginning.
Do you
though.
remember when Tommy
I do.
would, like,
Oh,
look
yeah.
at you and he would just start crying?
Yes, it was hilarious.
He was like a baby. Now, like this morning, Ryan and Kit had doctor's appointments. So I just dropped off Hank and Tommy. And Tommy just went right to like Sean and Hank just walked right in.
Yeah.
Yep. And I was like, that's nice. They're not even going to cry. Like I just handed Tommy right over.
Dude, Tommy had a glow in the dark binky this morning. That was one of the coolest
Sean's
binkies
like,
I've
let's
ever
go
seen.
check it out.
We did. I took him into the bathroom where I could turn the light off and be like, look, and I pointed in the mirror so he could see his face in the binky. And so he could see that his binky glowed in the dark.
What did he say? Did he say, Bubba?
I don't think, well, wasn't saying anything, but
He's like, why are we staying in a dark room?
He's a creeper.
He's like, you're so easily entertained.
hey, Kim, thanks for dropping your kids off. I'm going to take them into a dark room now. No,
It's like the shirt I saw.
A shirt? You
A
saw?
shirt?
Yeah, no. So the shirt said like it was a Halloween shirt where it's like, making a joke of, I have to see the candy first before I'll get in the van. I'm not stupid.
Oh, I've seen that shirt.
I've
Yeah.
seen that shirt too. I saw a YouTube thing where a guy was like, do you think that your kids would talk to a stranger at like parks to moms? And they're like, no, I've taught my kid. He's like, do you want to try? And he's like, which one's your kid? So he'll go up to him and he'll be like, hey. And like 90% of the kids were like,
95% of the kids are gonna
yeah,
talk.
they were like, oh, okay. And like all the moms were like, oh my gosh. Like one mom was like, what did I tell you? I told you not to go with strangers. Like, the guy says he has a dog over there.
Oh, no.
Well, kids are just so innocent and they don't comprehend
yeah.
danger.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
problem. So it's like you can tell stranger danger, and it just won't compute.
They don't have any like applied experience with it yet, or enough like. Not that you want your kids. To
When you hire a friend to
Yeah.
Fake.
And that's why you always leave a note.
Kid, I do.
God.
Kit is so friendly that I do worry about that. Hank is so suspicious of everyone.
Well, he's a COVID baby,
Yeah. So if someone tried to kidnap him, he'd be like,
screaming bloody
he'd
murder.
be like, who are you? Ah.
He'd be screaming the whole entire time. He would.
Yeah.
I mean, even like if you tell Hank to do something that he like does not agree with, he's looking at you like
He's like, he looks at you and
he's like,
now
"You
he'll say
suck."
no, and now he'll say no and
Or
like
he
walk
says-
away from you.
His new thing is
Crap.
his new thing is to say, I hate to do that.
Yeah, he doesn't want to do it, so he's like, I hate to do
I
that.
hate to do that. But anyway, so I don't know. And Tommy's very friendly too. But Hank is so like, Hank does not like, well, I mean, you guys know
Well,
Hank.
Tommy's cute and he knows it.
He does.
Yes.
And he takes full advantage.
Plays that card.
He
Yeah.
plays
He
it.
took Hillary's shoe at the river yesterday. It was like on her foot, and
And
he
let
was
me
like
guess,
sitting in
he
his stroller.
smirked. He did his smirk.
Evil laugh.
He did.
Did
It was the funniest thing ever.
He was like, he took it off, and then he just looked at her with that smirk, and she was like, "You took my shoe," and he was like,
He did. It was so cute.
She just evil laughed at me, and he was like,
And then he put it back on my foot.
and then smirked again.
He did that. I think he was going to put him on my shoulders at Walmart.
Yes.
He was so
Yeah.
happy. Yeah, he like was like
Laughed.
well, yeah.
That's
He's
awesome.
like,
On top
I am
of
king of the.
And he was like,
So cute.
so yeah.
So what do you have to say for yourselves?
What
Sean's like, I have
I don't know.
I
defended myself.
I've done many things wrong, but also I have atoned for my sins, and I am in the clear. So,
Until tomorrow.
well, okay. Otherwise,
Don't lose our kid again.
otherwise I have to live in a state of consistent guilt.
You're like 3-4 times now.
Welcome to my life.
Yeah, but again,
Consistent
guilt. Yeah,
consistent guilt. I'm joking.
You know who you haven't lost?
Mercedes.
Yeah.
Because she's so loud.
Because
That's why we never lose kids.
yeah,
Right?
Mercedes is the active, loud, energetic child who is actually
Would never allow herself to be lost.
So it's funny though, because like with how gregarious she is, I would have thought that we'd have lost her at least like once.
Do you remember at the store? Well, this has happened a few times. It hasn't happened very often. Kit will like go around the corner or something because she was looking at something, and she's like, "Kit, where are you?" And I'm just like, "Just listen."
Right?
She's usually like talking or singing to herself or something.
And now she's old enough too. She's like, she knows that if she wanders too far, like something could happen to her. But like,
Yeah.
Kit is, that's like when we get in the car, if it's silent, it's like, where's Kit?
Mhm.
But Hank is that way right now. But Brian is the one that I have almost loved Brian before.
Oh, he's so quiet.
So quiet. So that's why we do the countdown.
Yep.
But yeah. So,
Well, that was fun.
Adam, what do you have to say for yourself? Have you atoned?
I don't know. You tell me.
I mean, yeah, I'm not mad at you anymore. There are other things that I get annoyed over.
I'm still annoyed about the wood.
The wood?
Oh,
That could have gone so many ways. We're heading into our late night section.
Welcome to late night.
Rachel.
After dark. Welcome to Feral Housewives After Dark. All right, tell us about your wood.
What annoys you about my wood?
It took you hours to looking at
Are you
what?
still annoyed about how long I was looking at
Well-
wood with Edwin?
I
Yes.
am.
And you did get the screws
And then you
forgot
didn't get the
Why are you
for your
annoyed?
wood.
Okay, so I'm going to tell a story really quick. So the quick version is Sean was going to build a bunk bed for Edwin and my nephew to share
No,
the
I'm
bedroom
still-
upstairs.
I'm being lazy about it.
Yeah, I know. And he went to go to Home Depot while Mercedes and I and my mom all went to a musical at the high school.
Called
And-
High School Musical.
Yes, we went to go see High School Musical, the musical,
At the high school.
at the high school. And it was like a 2-hour thing. And we were leaving and I was like, hey, are you ready to like go to Home Depot with Edwin, like to have a father something? And he's like, yeah, we're going to go. Okay, first I have to tell you, he drew up the plans for this freaking bunk bed in 3D modeling, which is what he does for a living. And he spent like, 4 hours making this 3D model of all the measurements and all the crap and that already within the previous week. Okay.
I designed this bunk bed myself to be very modular, and so that if I ever have to take it apart, the beds have bed frames still that come out, and they're not like weird shaped things that you get from like an IKEA or Walmart.
So
bunk bed.
then he shows me the plans, and I'm like, okay, I don't like, it needs a rail right here. And that was literally all I said. It needs one more bar right here on the end so they don't fall off. Okay. Another hour later, he had to put in those 2 freaking bars in 3D on the computer. And then he's like, and then I get like a group text message from the neighbor, John, who he left Edwin at his house. And he was like,
guy.
I know. He's like, so is Edwin okay to play over here? And he's like, yeah, he's good. We're going to leave in about 40 minutes. And I was like, 40 freaking minutes? You're supposed to leave when I left. Yeah, you didn't know that I knew the behind the scenes times, did I? Did you? So then I'm like at the musical thing and we're watching it. And then I'm like, okay, it's been like 40 minutes. He should have left. And then we get home. He still hadn't freaking left.
I actually haven't heard this part. I didn't know that.
Maybe you had left, but it'd been like 3 hours. And I was like, why isn't he home? It's been like 3 hours at this point. And so we get home and you're still gone. And then another hour passes. It's been like 4 hours. And then you finally get home with Edwin. And I'm like, holy crap. Like, what is going on? He comes and he unloads all this wood. All this stupid wood into my freaking hallway. So now my hallway is just full of wood. It's a really tall, long wood. And I'm like, okay, did you get everything? Yeah, I got everything. Well, except the screws. I'm like, you didn't get screws? I was like, you were at Home Depot for 4 hours. What were you doing? Oh, I was getting all the wood. You were looking at wood for 4 hours? Well, I gotta make sure it's not warped, and it was a father-son bonding moment. Edwin would hold this side, and I'd hold this side, and then we'd look down the thing and make sure it's not warped, and then he'd be like, this is good, and then we'd put it in the cart. And then it was 4 hours later, and we didn't have screws. We were home. And I'm like, oh, and I didn't know what screws to get. I was in the screw aisle, and I know, should I get a bucket of screws? Should I get a box of screws? Do I get these kind of screws? Or what do I do? I buy them on Amazon? I don't know what to do. And I was like, oh my gosh.
I had a rough idea of the screws I needed at that point.
You spent 4 hours modeling it. You should have known what you were getting.
No, well, yeah. But
Don't defend him, Adam. I saw that. He was going to defend him.
He spent all this time designing the bunk bed so that he could then sell the plans.
Well, he had all the measurements and crap and all the pieces written down.
But then it takes a while to figure out, I need this size screw for this section, sections, and then I need this size screw for those sections. And he hadn't gotten that far yet.
No.
So
you made me to believe that you knew all the stupid crap you needed to buy at Home Depot. So then the wood sat in my hallway for a freaking month. And I
think more than that.
Thank you. It's like 2 months, a long time. And then after that, he ordered screws on Amazon.
Yep.
And then...
Were they the wrong size?
No, they're the right size.
Then...
But he doesn't really know because he hasn't built the bunk bed.
Then,
I know.
Then we finally had somebody come to inspect the house for the ICPC thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, please tell him it has to be done. So we'll light a fire under his freaking butt and get the bunk bed done.
You're saying it's going to have to actually be done? Just they tell him that it needs to be done, he'll do it?
Yeah.
Well, because the room had to be ready for Edwin and Riker. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, please tell him that the room actually has to be put together. And the bunk bed has to be done.
No.
It's not done yet.
She's like, okay. So then, you know what happened that weekend, though, which was Father's Day, because, Father's Day seems like the best day to go out and start building this bunk bed.
Is that when I did it?
That is the day you did it. It was Father's Day. You go out freaking back. You go out back, and I got a picture of this, too. I got proof. You got your blind man glasses on. You got your rolled up pajama pants. And you got the crappy, Costco table out there with this heavy-duty, nice saw out there.
Yeah.
Cutting wood.
Yeah.
Wait,
on Father's Day.
What did you do with the cut wood?
It's in the garage.
It's all in the garage. Is there a bunk bed? No, there is not.
There will be a bunk bed.
In like 2 years.
Well, I mean...
Look, he gave you more time than I did. Yeah. So
yeah.
no. But then he cuts all this wood.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is the part I'm still pissed about. There's a giant saw under my table
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
that is still stuck there.
Because I need to go get more wood.
Wait! Why did you want wood? No! You spent 4 hours getting wood!
These pieces
Why?
did you just cut?
Oh, no, he's
Oh, I
like,
missed
oh,
any.
they're warped now because he took so freaking long to cut them.
No. Well, some of the 2x2s, some of them got real squirrely on me.
Because you waited too long to do anything with them.
Probably.
Maybe, maybe not.
But
Because-
2x2s have a tendency to warp more than 2x4s or 2x6s.
Yeah, and also the wood that you get at Home Depot or Lowe's is still green.
Yeah. So, like, most of the wood I got was green. And that was part of the reason why it took me so long looking at wood. It wasn't just like standing there going,
to make sure
which wood do I get? It was, okay, I have
I'm just
to
glad he came home.
I
with
have
a
to
kid.
take each piece of wood off.
You didn't lose that. Maybe that's why it was crying so long. You lost Edwin.
Where'd he go?
Did you secretly lose him and you had to find him
No.
for 2 hours?
No. She'll never forgive me if I come back with wood and not a child.
What I make a wooden child?
He's like, I'd rather be yelled at for looking for wood for 4 hours than losing Edwin again. But, flaw, how would you keep Edwin quiet? Because Edwin, can Edwin keep a secret?
No, he
No.
would have told me.
He would have, yeah.
He would have said
He would have been
something.
like, Mom, Papa lost me for 2 hours.
I was
but
so scared.
He said to tell you when we were looking at wood the whole time.
Yeah, he would have ratted me out.
He would have. He likes me better.
So we had to look at each individual piece of wood as we were pulling it off the thing because not all of them.
The majority of them are warped.
Yeah, and it's like, well, I can't buy warped ones because the warped ones aren't going to line up properly, and I don't have the equipment to correct the warp.
Well, all I'm saying is that saw's not going to sit there for another 4 years.
There are ways to correct it.
So yeah.
Easy.
So in all reality, I do need to finish that project because I can't leave it unfinished. I have to go get a few more boards for
A few what?
boards,
Of
wood. What are you, wooden boards?
Cardboard?
What boards? What the are
I just want you to admit that you didn't have all the wood.
All of the boards.
She wanted you to say wood.
I just want to.
I've got to go get more wood from Home Depot. But you know what? I don't need as much this time, so I'm only going to stare at it for like an hour.
Okay.
And a half.
Are you sure?
Maybe an hour and a half. If I bring Edwin with me, it'll take a little longer.
Uh-huh.
Me, it would
Look,
take,
if I didn't
so
have-
it would
Why
take me
don't
at
you
least
take-
that long because what I'll do is I'll go there and I'll start
Wood.
looking at tools before I look at the wood because like that's the grown man's toy store.
Yes.
Why don't you take Adam with you next time you go, Adam?
Oh my gosh, no, they'll do
I
it in
want
like 8
that and that
hours.
and that and that and that, but I have no money, so
For 8 hours.
I'm just gonna sit there and drool.
But see, Adam knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
I am very amateur when it comes to like woodworking or other like hands-on projects like this.
So you're basically saying that in like a month or two, you're gonna call me and be like, "Hey, can you give me a hand with this?"
Probably. Adam, we're going to Home Depot.
But if you could design a triple bunk bed for us, for our house, for our boys.
I mean, I could just take my existing design and add another layer to it.
Well, you have to like
It'd be
shrink them because
how high are your ceilings?
they're not very
They're not,
high.
Like 8
They're-
feet.
yeah,
So the
You
bunk bed.
stood in their house.
Yeah, but I know the
you
bedrooms
almost
are-
They're the
hit
same.
your head. Well, yeah, it's all the same. height.
So the bunk bed I
Right.
designed is about 6 feet high.
Yeah, that's pretty much the top. That you
So yeah, you can't go much higher than. I mean, you could like.
Okay,
could
you know
do-
what? You can design that later.
Okay.
This is not feral.
builders.
Builder.
No.
Anyway, those are the feral things I do. Is I stare at wood for 4 hours.
Trail.
I'm just a wood looker.
Don't ever say that again.
I think we need to.
To clarify, he's talking about the wood section at Home Depot and Lowe's,
Yes.
not the bathroom.
No. I think if it's 4 hours, you gotta talk to your doctor.
Yes.
Doc, I can't stop staring.
Oh my goodness.
And
Well,
Had to throw that in there. Just had.
they've gone feral.
they have.
What are you talking?
Or
Gone
have
feral?
have we just been feral this whole time?
Or have we just hidden the fact that men might age, but mentally they're about max 14?
Yeah. There's just a lot
And-
more filters.
Yeah. We just learned how to shut up.
Yeah.
So the reason that we invited our wonderful husbands on our podcast is, I don't know what we talk about.
To introduce us, because you keep on talking about.
Well, we
your
don't talk
lives.
about you hardly ever, right now.
Never. Never.
Uh-huh.
My name's Adam.
And I'm Sean.
And we're the feral domesticated husbands. Did you really just do that?
Absolutely.
I think Adam's warmed up to the podcast life.
Hey,
He's like, this is what happens when you bring me here at 1
Yeah.
a.m.
you might invite me back on, or you might say never again.
I think he wants us to say never again.
It's not going to happen.
So I had to sing in the Cookie Monster voice.
Oh, yeah, you would never.
No.
So, what were we saying? It's really late. I am so tired.
So,
They do
If
not
you-
function well. Lack of sleep.
No.
On lack of sleep.
No.
if
They
you ever feel like you're alone, or no, that's not.
Oh, I
See,
wouldn't
they
go
can't
in there
remember
yet.
If you're,
I was gonna say
we can never remember
Is this
it.
the ad read?
Well, I
What
was
is this?
gonna say.
If you're a mess,
Oh no, that's not what I was gonna.
oh, well,
I was just gonna. I was gonna say that after this, but
Oh.
we always talk about how. I mean, we don't feel like we're alone, but sometimes I feel like it's hard in marriage because you think, I don't know. At least me, I'm always like, is my marriage a normal marriage? Like,
You're saying I'm boring?
Well, what's a normal
No.
marriage? I mean, that's a
I don't know. I don't think there is a normal marriage.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the reasons that I wanted to do
Mhm.
this segment where we have our husbands on so that people could see every marriage is different
Mhm.
and everyone has fights.
Yeah.
Because
They communicate and they miss it.
they miss it.
Sometimes it's reversed, not very often.
Yeah.
You know what? You know what Kim hates the most out of anything? When I'm right.
I don't ever.
No, I don't think that's ever happened. I've never heard that.
You get so
Actually,
angry.
I
You
think
get
that-
so upset.
I think that
Does
I
Hillary
admit
get
I'm
really
wrong
upset when you're
more
right?
than Adam.
She doesn't get upset. She gets really quiet. And then I feel
Does
like...
she go?
No, but I feel like...
No.
But I feel like I'm the dog that's chasing the car, and I finally caught the car. And then, and it's
And then you
usually...
get hit by the car?
It's a sitcom moment, right? Where, I'm right, and I walk away, because there's high emotion, right? And then I go off and I'm fuming, I'm like, I don't hear her saying anything. Did I win?
Oh, wait, what?
Wait, what? What happened? And then I get concerned because I don't know what's going to happen next. Usually, I'll say something. I'll get my emotions will take over. I'm like, I don't know. I'll say something, and then I'll go walk away or whatever, and I know it's coming because I'm used to it. Because it's okay, I've said
It's
something,
usually
and
wrong.
she's coming up with a reply, and I'm like, okay, in 3.5 minutes, she's going to come out here. And she's gonna turn it around on me. I'm gonna have to, and so I'm getting ready for my defense again. And then the couple times where I've put her in her place, it's I don't know what
It's
to do.
not very often. Not very often.
Yeah, I don't mean that in a
Where he's been correct
Where
on
if I'm
certain
right,
circumstances.
Right? I don't know what to do. It throws me off because I'm ready to keep defending myself or keep.
Well, because I can
going with
admit
the
defeat
argument.
if he's correct. It's just not very often. So
Yeah,
I can admit it too. I just admit it fine, maybe you're right.
yeah.
I'm like,
And most of the time,
And it irks me.
most of the time when I am right, it's in like dumb little things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Things that are of no consequence, no emotional, ties to it. It's very rare when like we get into like a heated discussion and I come out on top.
Marriage is not perfect.
Nope.
Every marriage has its struggles. And remember, you might be a mess.
But you're not alone.
You're feral. I'm Kimberly.
And I'm Hillary.
And
We're the Feral Housewives.
Being a housewife is darn hard. I don't even know where to start. But when times are tough and things get rough, it's a good thing we've got our best friends by our side. Laundry couches are a must. Baking cookies is a bust. Unconventional moms are the bomb. Put the kids to bed and listen to